Hello everyone, today I wanted to share my thoughts on Janet Jackson's All For You album. If you would like to skip right to my ranking, I will have a timestamp on the screen right now to where you guys can go to. Now on to a couple quick disclaimers. Number one, this is just my personal opinion and interpretation of the songs. I'd love to hear yours down below, just keep it respectful please. I'm going to be reading off my phone as I always do. Sorry for any background noise or dust particles that may occur throughout this video. Everything that I referenced to make this video mention will be linked down below in the description if you would like to check it out. Lastly, if I have any notes I forget to add, check down below. I might have a pinned comment. And let's get into it. I put all the songs on this album in tiers. There's no order in tiers or at all. I'm just reading them in the order that I wrote them down in. So first up are going to be songs that I just do not necessarily care for. These are going to be skips for me on this album. The first one that I have written down is going to be You Ain't Right. I just don't care for this song at all. I just feel like it's not captivating in terms of the performance, the production, and also in terms of like the music. In terms of the lyrics as well, they're just kind of like there, and it just doesn't really do that much for me, and that's my personal opinion on this song. Going to be a skip for me. I read something saying that she was going to do a remix on the song and Mariah was going to be on it, but unfortunately due to scheduling and stuff that didn't happen. So I really wonder what that would have sounded like, but that's my personal opinions on the song. The last song on this tier is going to be the intro. I don't really count this as an actual song. I just needed a place to put it in this video, mind you. But yeah, it's just kind of there to me. Again, going to be another skip on this album for me. Now on to the good tier. So I have all the interludes written down. I can appreciate what they add to the album. That definitely make it a cohesive experience. Next up, I have Love Scene Ooh Baby written down. I think that this is a beautiful track to listen to. And now on to the great tier. So the first one that I have written down is going to be When We Ooh. I think that this is a gorgeous track to listen to in terms of her vocal performance. I really love the production on here, and I feel like it's really relaxing to listen to as well. Next up is going to be Would You Mind. There's no way to get around this. This is a very sexual song. Like, she really gets into it. There's not very many people who could pull off a song like this. So that just kind of shows Janet and her range. Like, the fact that she went from Let's Wait a While to this, like, that's just insane. But I actually really enjoy the song in terms of the production, in terms of the vocals, nice lyrics. And this is a song that I typically only listen to in context of the album. Like, I don't go out of my way to listen to it, but I do enjoy it when it comes on. I will say, I'd love to know what you guys think about this song in the comments. Now to the excellent tier. These are songs I absolutely love. They just miss being my favorites by hair. So the first one that I've written down is going to be Come On Get Up. This just makes me want to take on the day. It's so energetic. I really like how dynamic it is in terms of like the production, and I just like how cleanly produced it is, and I really appreciate her vocal performance on there as well, and just a nice track to listen to overall. Next up is going to be Trust a Try. This song is absolutely fantastic. This is Janet getting into her rock bag once again, and you really do love to see it. I think what stands out in the song most to me is her vocal delivery. I really like the kind of edge that her voice has, like the textures that she's using is always really interesting to listen to me. I also really love the lyrics and just like the intensity of this track overall. Like the instrumentation particularly stands out to me. Like there's this amazing guitar all over it. I love the strings. I love how the song progresses. It's just a really phenomenal track. I really enjoy this song so much. Next song that I have written down is going to be Truth. I really like how she approaches this one because she's basically talking to her ex-husband and basically saying, stop spreading lies about me and stop acting like you basically put me on with my career. Like, I was still selling a lot of records before I met you. I still had my own thing going on. I was dancing until my feet were sore. Like, don't do that to me just because of how the relationship ended. Like, let's just go our separate ways. Let's do our own thing. I think that she has a nice vocal performance on the song as well, and it does contain an interpolation of Ooh Child performed by 5 Stairsteps, and I can appreciate the way that that was incorporated. About the song in Genius, it says, in a candid interview with Chicago Magazine, Janet opened up about Truth. That song is about her marriage with ex-husband Renee Elizondo, and it's really me thinking out loud. It's saying there is all this mess going on, let's forget all of it and get on with our lives, go our separate ways. I think a lot of things he did were done out of pain, out of ego, and wanting me to feel pain. He, Elizondo, had to help himself before I could help him. It became too much for me. I felt so selfish at one point, but it was dragging me down. It makes me wonder whether the love we had was really sincere or was there an agenda from the beginning, because I knew where it was coming from and what I was feeling and what I was in it for. And that was nothing but love and support and to have an honest relationship. I hope it was, but I don't know. Next up is going to be Feel So Right. I think that this is a really pleasant track to listen to. I think that she has pretty vocals. I really like the production on here as well. And I really like the sentiment of the song generally. The last song in this tier is going to be Better Days. So in the song, essentially she's saying, yeah, I've had bad times in the past, but I can't wallow in that. I have to move on because better things are coming for me. And I just really like how uplifting that this song is to listen to. Works perfectly as a closer to the album. I know that there's like the outro to the album, but I technically don't count that as the closer. That's my personal opinion. I really like her vocals on the track and nice production as well. Regarding the song, Jackson said, I feel light and almost giddy about untying the knots that were choking me, restraining me, preventing my growth. I'm interested in making strides, taking chances, finding my own way in my own time. And now on to my favorite songs on this album. First one that I have written down is going to be All For You. One of my favorite pop songs of all time, one of the best pop songs ever recorded. Yes, I would really go that far. This is just pop perfection. So much fun to listen to. I really like the lyrics. I like the way that she owns it. And just such a solid track overall. Has so much replay value for me. Heavily samples The Glow of Love by Change, which I can appreciate how it's incorporated. I think that she has nice vocals on the track as well. Dance break in the music video is absolutely amazing. Janet always knocks it out of the park with her visuals, and they're always such a treat to watch. And I can appreciate how she always elevates the song. I can appreciate the clothing, the colorway. Shout out to the director, shout out to the choreographers involved in all of that, but always so cool to watch. So definitely really appreciate that, the music video and everything that she brought to it. Next song that I've written down is going to be Someone to Call My Lover. I absolutely adore this song. A very light and breezy track to listen to, and I think that it is a great bridge and vocal performance on there as well. What has really stood out about this song to me is going to be the guitar, and I just learned recently that it was a sample. The production of Someone to Call My Lover is based around a guitar loop sampled from the band America's song Ventura Highway, which Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis brought to Jackson. It also contains a piano loop in the chorus interpolated from Eric Satie's Jim No Piede No. 1, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, which Jackson remembered from a commercial she saw in her childhood. And I think that the guitar adds so much to it. I think that this is a really catchy track to listen to. Also continuing on with the sample, it says, Jimmy has talked about how the use of the Ventura Highway sample helped the song appeal to many different types of music listeners. For Someone to Call My Lover, Janet hadn't heard the Ventura Highway sample before. She hadn't heard those songs, so it's kind of fun to come up with stuff like that and play it for her. And she hasn't heard of it, but she still really likes it. So you have something that's going to appeal to people that haven't heard it before. It's going to catch them, but it's also going to catch the people that are nostalgic about it. And I would definitely agree with that, because I listened to this song so many times over and I didn't know that this was a sample until recently. So I really appreciate them for introducing it to her and just like the way that it's incorporated into the song. And I think that it works really nicely. Janet has spoken about hearing Jim No Piede No. 1 as a child. When I was a little girl and I used to come home from school, there was something called the 3:30 movie, and I used to play the MGM musicals. There was a commercial. I remember watching Singing in the Rain, and there was a commercial with the lady all in white. And I don't know if it was for Dove or something like that, but they would play this da-da-da. It was the Eric Satie. I never knew who the composer was, and the song never left me. Many years later, she finally discovered the identity of the mysterious song. I was at Ralph Lauren, and I said, oh my god, is this the radio or is this a CD? I said, please tell me it's a CD. They said, it's a CD. Well, actually, it's a Ralph Lauren CD, and we don't have it anymore. I was like, oh god, no. And they gave me the CD. I took it straight to Jimmy and said, Jimmy, I've just got to share this with you, and he saw my passion and my love for it. He didn't take the actual song, but he kind of put his own flavor to it in Someone to Call My Lover, which takes me back to my childhood. Next song that I've written down is going to be Doesn't Really Matter. This is a banger, the song that keeps on giving. One of my favorite songs in Janet's entire discography. Like, this song has so much replay value for me. Ridiculously catchy. I love it so much. The production on this song is phenomenal. I really appreciate the way that it progresses and how rewarding it is to listen to every single time. And it just never gets old. I think that Janet gives a nice vocal performance and great music video for the song as well. And it was written for the Nutty Professor 2 soundtrack, and then they switched it up for the album, which is definitely something interesting that I wanted to add. Next up is going to be Son of a Gun, I Bet You Think the Song Is About You, featuring Carly Simon. This is iconic to listen to. I mean, that opening line alone, I love the lyrics and how direct they are. And people speculated that this is about Janet's ex-husband, but she said that it's about multiple people like in the music industry, so that was definitely something interesting to read as well. I just love the way that she goes in. I love the vocal delivery there. I love what Carly Simon adds onto the track. It does sample her song, You're So Vain. I really love the way that they play off each other, like the chemistry, and it's just so interesting to listen to every single time, and I definitely really do appreciate it, I will say. Last song in this tier is going to be China Love. I think this is a really smooth track to listen to with lush production as well, and it contains a sample from Moonlight City Roll as performed by Yoko Shimomura from the Legend of Mana soundtrack. I think that it has decent vocals as well, and I can appreciate the way that the thunder and the rain is incorporated. I thought that that was a nice touch on the track, and just really soothing to listen to, and one that I really quite enjoy. Before I get into my overall thoughts on this album, I did want to share a little bit of background information about it that I found off of Wikipedia. So it says, I call my latest release All For You. The you is my fans who stayed with me and watched me grow. The you is a mysterious force of love that's a source of creativity, and the you is also me. All For You is a suite of songs that helped me move from one emotional level to another. I'm the kind of artist who has no choice but to write what I feel. Velvet Road took me inside my fears and frustrations. All For You has brought me outside, happy in a natural high, convinced that I really can express joy in the face of pain. My moods are changing. If you listen to the CD, you'll hear what I'm going through. There's anger, hurt, regret, even that familiar vein of severe self-criticism that I can't quite shake. I still can't stand seeing any of my movies or concert tapes. I still cringe when I watch myself act or dance. There's also confidence. I hope this doesn't sound egotistical, but this time I stood alone and crafted my art according to my heart. I feel free, and there's nothing more wonderful than freedom. On the music and lyrics it says, at times we all use our work to get through personal things, and in that regard the albums and the part in Nutty Professor were really successful in giving her the incentive to strengthen herself. And I think through it she managed to find this sort of feeling that I'm okay with myself and I have people who love me. Because she wasn't thinking all that well of herself then. Following her divorce, Jackson decided to record an up-tempo optimistic album rather than songs about sadness or anger. Producer Jimmy Jam said, you go through all these emotions and then you come out of it on the other side and say, I'm going to be okay and I have a lot of things to be thankful for. And that was the overriding feeling in her life when we were making this album. Its concept focuses largely on the demise of her marriage to Renee Elizondo Jr. and subsequent embrace of the single life, experiencing dating for the first time. It also contains themes of sensuality, deceit, and betrayal. Jackson said, it's a different thing for me. Growing up, I've never dated. I'm doing it now, experiencing that whole life. Its upbeat tempo intended to reflect Jackson's self-esteem, described as a work in progress. Emma commented, she doesn't see herself the way other people see her, you know, gorgeous and sexy and all that. That isn't the kind of person she is, although she's closer to feeling like that person now than she was 15 years ago or even 3 or 4 years ago. Jackson commented, I look back at pictures of myself from 4 years ago and I see the unhappiness in my eyes, but I'm in the greatest space now. I believe we have choices and paths, and it's about choosing the right path, the promising path. Recording, Jackson listened to artists such as Saint Germain, Buena Vista Social Club, Thievery, Corporation, Basement Jaxx, Outkast, and Papa Roach. Now to my overall thoughts on this album. I think this is a solid album to listen to. Something light, something for the summer. I can appreciate with this album, she talks about her divorce, how she feels about it on multiple songs, but I like that it's not what the entire album is about, right? I can appreciate that we have some really great up-tempo songs like Someone to Call My Lover, Doesn't Really Matter, All For You, for example, that are just breezy, light, fun to listen to. It can be so light to listen to, but also on the other side of it, there is some depth in there talking about her divorce, how she feels about it, and going over everything. So I can definitely appreciate that. Just really like how the album is balanced out, and we just have like a nice mix of everything, and she just really knows how to sequence albums, so definitely shout out to her for that as well. I think that there was good subject matter on this album, and I thought that there was really nice lyrical content, so definitely shout out to Janet Jackson as a songwriter, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and all the other songwriters on this album for sure. I did want to say, I think that the sequencing on this album is great. Once again, like I said, I don't care for the first 2 songs. I skip those. I start Write It All For You, which is where the album should have started, in my personal opinion. I go through all the way, and I just really enjoy myself. The transitions are super clean, which I do appreciate. I can definitely appreciate the production. Shout out to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis for doing their thing, all the other producers, the engineers. And I feel like there's great vocal performances from Janet on every single song, so I really enjoy listening to that. Such a treat to hear what she does with her voice there. I appreciate the harmonies and the vocal layering and all of that. Really delightful to listen to. I definitely think that this is one of her best albums. It's one that I find myself reaching for all the time to listen to. It just has a lot of replay value for me, and banger after banger after banger on this album. I think it's just a really cohesive body of work. I think this is a great album to listen to in the summertime. If you have not checked this album out, you really should. I wanted to add that I really like this album cover as well. I really like the colorway that she went for this era. I think that it perfectly matches the songs. Really glad that I got around to doing this video because it's been a few months since I have done a video on Janet, so I was really looking forward to getting to do one again. Her birthday was last month, so definitely happy birthday to her. What a legend, great singer, songwriter, performer. Like, she can really do it all. And someone asked me whenever I posted my top for the past month if I would do a video on Demita Jo working the songs, and I definitely will. That will be my next video on Janet, probably. That will probably happen in a few months because I like to rotate the artists that I talk about. If you did want to see more videos on Janet, then I will have a card on the screen right here to where you guys can go to, and that just shows everything I've done so far. And like I said, I definitely am planning to do more videos on her, so definitely subscribe if you would like to see more. That's going to be it for my thoughts on the album. I would love to know what you guys are thinking down below in the comments. What are your favorite songs? What are your least favorite songs? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Any important facts about the album that you would like to share, leave them down below. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, please share to like down below. It helps me a lot in the YouTube algorithm. I very much appreciate it. You can subscribe for more videos like this. If you hit the bell, you will get a notification every single time I post, so you not miss whenever I post a brand new video. The first link down below in the description is going to be my second channel, so if you want to see more of me, definitely hit me up on there. I actually just uploaded a new video on there recently, and it was me talking about my thoughts on Mariah Carey being being inducted in the Songwriters Hall of Fame and her BET Award performance that she did recently. I also talked about what do I want to see from Beyonce's upcoming album Renaissance and some other topics, so definitely go check me out on there. I'm also going to have my Twitter, my Instagram, and my Spotify if you'd like to follow me. Thanks to stream this album if you're interested. Like I said, if you have not heard this album already, you are severely missing out. Definitely go listen to it. And lastly, links to educate you guys on important situations. I did want to say really quickly, I am very against Roe v. Wade being overturned. I talk about this on my second channel. I've been active on my social media talking about it. I definitely did want to talk about this on this channel really quickly. My last video was filmed before the decision officially came out and everything. And so I definitely wanted to say I feel very strongly about that. I am a pro-choice person. And in my description, I'm going to have links for abortion resources and counseling and like all that stuff. So definitely check it out if it's necessary for you. And it's just unfortunate how this has happened. And there's so many people that this affects, and my heart goes out to you and just everything that you're going through. And I really hate to see it. I'm very against that decision. So I definitely wanted to take a second to speak out. Again, the resources will be linked down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.